Our last guest for today comes because she's also going to talk about something that's critically important, and that is water. We all need water for many things, including drinking, taking a bath, and just really giving us the chance to feel good, because the more water you drink, really, the healthier you are. And so please join me in welcoming Miss Gale Ketteler, who is with the Winston-Salem Forsyth County Utilities Department in the Public Information Office. She is a public information officer. Good afternoon, Gale.
Well, hello, sir. Good to see you.
Good to see you again, and welcome back. Water, water, water. Yes, that's what we're talking about. And perhaps you can help us understand just how large is our utility water system here in the county?
We have a service provided throughout Forsyth County. We actually also have customers slightly outside of our county. We have wholesale customers, other water utilities who buy water from us because we are blessed to have this abundant and wonderful source of water from the Yadkin River. And so, it's a pretty large territory. Obviously, we serve Winston-Salem, but a full third of our customers are outside of the city limits.
A third. Oh, wow. So it's really big.
Yeah.
Really big.
Yeah.
And so we're supported by the Yadkin River, right?
We are. That is our main raw water source, is what we call it in the industry. We also do take raw water from Salem Lake. And one of our plants, Thomas Water Treatment Plant, and we have 3 water treatment plants. Thomas uses water both from the Yadkin. It goes through a big, huge supply line underground. There's so much underground, people have no idea. That was laid many, many years ago, and it takes the water to Thomas Water Treatment Plant. And then Thomas also has an intake at the Salem Lake Dam. And so typically they blend the water, and they really like that Salem Lake water because, they have to have the perfect squeeze, basically, for the water after you do the treatment and having all the right chemical levels to things. So that's why they like having that Salem Lake water. But the Yadkin River is our main source.
All right. And so now, then, if we have all this great water, why is the price so high? Why do folks who may complain about the water bill?
Well, I would argue that the price is not that high, actually. If you look at, I've heard people say, like, I pay my taxes. And yes, great, you pay your taxes, but your water bill is what's paying for your water. We are not supported by taxes. And, so we are a self-sustaining department. We're supported by the fees that our customers pay for water and sewer, and at our landfill solid waste facilities, the tipping fees. But historically, if you look at our rates at what we call peer utilities, the other larger utilities in the state, we have always been, since I've been here and longer, the second lowest rates for our customers. And it's quite possible this year, once all the budgets get finalized around the state, we are likely to be the lowest. So I'd like people to know that. And the other thing you should know is that if you're drinking bottled water, you are basically falling for a scam.
Could you say that again, please?
I will say it. I will let you know that, if you're complaining about your water bill from us, I would invite you to quit your complaining, because if you're paying $1.50 for a bottle of water, that same $1.50 is 2,000 gallons of tap water. So why fall for this marketing scam? Look at this. How many customers we have in this county who are beverage companies, including bottled water, mind you. So where do you think they're getting their water from? Us. So we have excellent water. It's very well ranked, and we have never violated drinking water requirement, federal or state, in at least 25 years.
Okay, now, I love what you said about the bottled water, but my wife keeps telling me that tap water, something's wrong with it. Please help me educate her or let her know different facts.
And water does have a taste. That's true. In different parts of the country, it tastes differently. I know someone who's a department director who moved here from a different state, and he has told me he loves our water here. The taste right out of the tap. I drink it tap right out of the tap. So some people, maybe they have the thing on their fridge. If you're using that, the most important thing, our director always wants people to know, if you're using any sort of a filter, whether it's a pitcher or on your tap or in your fridge, the most important thing is to make sure you change that filter as timed, as scheduled, because if you don't, you're putting your health at risk. having an old filter in there.
Okay.
So you don't have to filter our water, but for some people who maybe they just don't like the taste. And you know what? Things change seasonally. I remember I lived in Buffalo for a year, and when I moved there at the end of the summer, my tap water smelled and tasted like swamp water. That was all I could describe it as, and I got one of those faucet filters at that time. Now, the thing is, if you smell or you taste that, and I'm not saying that's what the situation is for your wife, but if you ever are concerned about something like that, you can contact us and contact CityLink and have your water tested if you're very concerned. But the other thing is there are some FAQs on our website and fact sheets that explain some of these things. Like if you're seeing things, it doesn't necessarily mean there's nothing wrong with the water being delivered to your tap. The things like some people see pink slime or black mold on their faucets or in their toilets or whatever. That is a bacteria that's naturally in the air here. I'm from the north, and people come up to me at events and say, "Hey, what is this stuff?" And I say, "Where are you from?" And they tell me, and I'm like, "You're not from here."
Yeah.
I'm not either. And when I first saw that, I was like, "What is that stuff?" It's not in our water. It's when water sits and stands, and the chlorine level of chlorine that's required to be in it for disinfection evaporates, and then the particles in the air, you can't see them. Yeah. They land in there, and then stuff grows.
Wow, you are so educational. I'm glad to have you here.
The good news is it's not dangerous. No, it's not going to kill you. It's called aesthetic. Aesthetics. It's not maybe pleasant, but it's not going to hurt you.
Great. Well, then let's continue this, because typically we connect water with our sewer system, and tell us a little about the services that we have.
So we run both. So it's a big holistic system there. We take our water mostly a little bit from Salem Lake, but mostly from the Yadkin River. We have 2 dams intakes, and that's our raw water. It goes to our 3 water treatment plants. It comes out in our distribution system to our customers, commercial and residential. It goes down the drain. Maybe it's your dishwasher, your clothes washer, your sink, your tub, your toilet. And by the way, toilet contents is less than 5% of what is in our wastewater.
Wow.
Think about all that industry.
Yes.
That is a huge chunk of what it goes into our wastewater, aka sewer system. So the distribution system, the pipes go out to our customers, then they go down the drain into our collection system. This is all jargon talk, industry jargon. And it comes back to one of our 2 wastewater treatment plants. And then it's treated. And when it is released back into our creeks or the Yadkin River, in one case, it is cleaner than when it was taken out upriver.
Wow.
So it's
great.
A contained system. It's done like this up and down rivers, waterways all over the world. It's the traditional system I never thought about until I started this job.
Wow. I'm beginning to like our water even more.
Yeah, I was just talking. We had a lovely staff walk, and I was speaking with the gentleman next to me because he had a bottle of water, and I think I convinced him to start drinking tap.
Oh, wow. Well, and speaking of good water and really a good system, you mentioned something last time about some peas, 4 Ps.
Oh yes. Well, you're hinting to me about our No Wipes in Pipes campaign.
Yes, that's what that was.
So you know what, Alvin? This is a big problem worldwide, and I know I saw something on one of the local TV news that was covering a story in our neighbors in Greensboro about not flushing these wipes. Even ones that say they're flushable, it's false advertising, and it's. You technically, you can flush it. That does not mean you should flush it. You should never flush a wipe. So our No Wipes in Pipes campaign is to educate people that it's not just wipes. It's things like paper towels, diapers, believe it or not. Some people do that. Sanitary products. You should not even put a Kleenex, like a facial tissue. You shouldn't even put that in the toilet because it does not dissolve immediately. Okay. The things that should go in your toilet, the only things you should ever flush are the 4 Ps: pee, poop, puke, and toilet paper. There you go. There's your 4 Ps.
No, that's what that was. I didn't know.
Everything else goes in the trash unless it's coming out of your body.
Okay. Well, I was laughing when you said, give those 4 Ps again.
Sure. I got pretty good at saying this, so practice it with me if you want.
Okay.
Pee, poop, puke, and toilet paper. And we have signs. It's on our website. If you go to cityofws.org/No Wipes. There are flyers there, English and Spanish, that you can print out. If you want to put it, it's a problem for businesses and, organizations that have a lot of outside use, let's say, not just their family, but you could even put it in your family bathroom. So you can print those out and post them, and it will save you a lot of headache and money if you ever have a backup, because that's the most preventable, that and putting grease down your sink, most preventable causes of sewer backups. And it costs us a lot of money, including fines every year, thousands of dollars in fines from the state.
Wow. I also understand that you have some new smart meter installations.
Yes.
Tell us about how that part.
Well, our Water Savvy program started. We started working on it in the great year of 2020, and it was initially expected to be completed by now. But as you know, something major happened that year,
right.
And so we were competing with other utilities who were all trying to get this short supply of the meters and all of the component parts that go with them. So it's taken us all, nationwide, a lot longer than anyone expected to implement, if you were during this time frame, to implement the smart meters. And, they're kind of, we're kind of late to the game, to be frank. They've existed, like my brother's out west in the boonies of South Dakota. He's had a smart meter a long time. Wow. So he couldn't believe we were just getting them. So anyway, we are almost done installing, doing full installations. There's all these layers of things in this project. But the full installations, out of 138,886, if you want the full number of meters, we are at 130,593. So that's 94% complete. I got that number yesterday.
Okay.
Now, there's others that I've already had. For instance, maybe they have a meter, but the smart point, the little radio transmitter, there's not a way to attach it. There's throughout the county, believe me, there's a hodgepodge of meter situations, from size, box, the container it goes through in the ground. So there's a lot of things where we have to go back. It's not just a simple swap out. And so there'll be some lingering things like that we need to wrap up. And then ultimately, we will be launching our customer portal online, which is going to vastly improve our customer experience and bill paying.
Yeah. Well, 94% is pretty good.
Yeah,
that's not bad.
So the online portal, the Water Savvy piece of that is, I don't have a timeline yet on that, hopefully sooner than later, but we're not going to launch it until, we've got all the I's dotted and the T's crossed. There's a lot of integration on the digital side of things with all our different systems and work order systems that have to be, and not to mention billing and payment, that all have to be connected properly. So once that is all tested and we know everything's working well, we will announce it. So I can't tell you a timeline yet, but we will announce it. Well, people will know.
Yes. Well, the thing about what you're doing, why you come to our show, is that we take it for granted. We take it so for granted, and we want to shine a light on this and really help us feel proud about our community and what's going on.
Yes.
So, any other news from your space, from the utilities, that you want to share on Empowering You?
Well, there's one little thing to remind people of. In the past with the meters, we used to educate people how to check their meter to see if they had a leak. We do not do that anymore. In fact, you could be charged a fine for tampering if you try to open up your meter box. So please do not do that. Yep. It's relearning. Something that people were taught to do is now it's like, no, please do not do that. And the reason is because that little radio transmitter is in there connected by a wire. And if you try to lift that lid, we've had professionals who have disconnected it. So we certainly don't want customers doing it. So just let us handle it, contact CityLink, and we'll get you taken care of. But the other big thing is our Get the Lead Out program. So we don't have a lead service line issue here for water delivery, delivery of your water in the pipes. We don't have a problem, but the federal government is requiring every public water utility to ensure that there are no more lead pipes underground. So this is a multi-year project. It's going to be going on for a long time, but we've hit our first milestone last fall, and every year, if you do have either a verified or suspected lead service line, you will be getting a letter from us. And until we verify that you do not, you're going to keep getting that letter from us. You're going to save us a lot of money if you can just take this step that we've been talking to people about now for over a year. If you go to cityofws.org/lead, LEAD, You'll see steps. The first link now is our public online database that shows everyone's address. You can type in your address and see what we think you have.
Okay. Well,
In some cases, things have been verified, but it'll have your address and it'll say what the service line, that underground service line, is on the utility side that comes to your meter. And then it'll say from the meter into your house, which is your private property. That's why this is tricky. We can't just come out and do it, nor do we have the staff to do it. So we need our customers' help. And even if you know I have a plastic pipe, I don't have to worry. Please do this, because the more of them we get verified, the better. And you'll have peace of mind. So it takes you through the steps there. There's a separate link there that is a self-reporting. It takes you through those steps. There are some people who have it in a crawl space where they can't access it. We understand that. And so in those situations, we're not expecting anyone to go to extra expense or trouble. Just if they have a plumber come next time, ask them, hey, can you help me figure out this?
Making sure we get the lead out.
Yeah, and eventually, we don't have, so far we only have 48 verified lead lines that we know of. And of course, they're older. And if you're home and you go through that process, the self-report, one of the early questions is, was your home built, I think, in 1988 or, since 88 or newer? Then you're automatically safe. You don't have to worry about it, and you're done with it. But we still, again, we'd love to have people complete it. The federal ban was in 86. Our state officially banned in 87. So just to be careful, we say 88.
Great.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate the chance to tell people about all these things, and especially right now that Get the Lead Out program is it's a challenge, because we need everyone to help us.
Well, great. Well, thanks for coming and letting us know that we have great water here in our county.
We do. We're very
Indeed.
lucky.
Thank you.
Thank you, Velvet.